I don't think so.
Very well. We're on the record in 2023 TR 1969, State of Kansas versus Felix Banuelos Camargo. Please announce appearances.
Jerry Regier on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appearing on behalf of Felix Banuelos Camargo, who does not appear. I've had no contact from him and do not take a position on the motion for judgment on bond.
And
Yes.
the name of the bondsman, please.
Yes, ma'am. Randy McCartney with Bad Boy Bail Bonds.
McCardy.
T-Y. T as in Tom.
T-Y.
Yes, ma'am.
McCarthy, Bad
Yes,
Boy
ma'am.
Bail Bonds. Okay. Do you know where the defendant is?
Well, ma'am, he has, I hate to use the word fled, but he seems as though he's fled to Missouri. I exercised all my resources here in the Wichita area. And at first he was communicating with me, and I was trying to get him back into court. It was a simple traffic warrant. He really doesn't have anything else going on other than the fact of just not wanting to go to court. And it seems as though he's fled to Missouri, and that's what I'm working on right now. And I would request that I would ask that the court, if you would be so generous to give me 60 days to get over into Missouri and try to get him back in here to Kansas to stand before the courts on this case. And I'd like to put for the record too, there's one other case there, that TR.
Oh, there
Yes.
is. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we'll be on the record in both 23 TR 1969 and 24 TR 732.
Yes,
And you're
ma'am.
on both of those, Mr. McCarty, you're on both?
Yes, ma'am. I did that, both those bonds I did at, it was the same release when I did both of those.
Well, this guy has more failures to appear than he certainly has appears. Mr. Regier, the state's position.
One moment, Your Honor.
If I may add, Your Honor, that for me to get over there into Missouri and I'm in the process of working with a PI over there. Missouri's laws against fugitive recoveries
I
is
just want to
a little
stop you.
challenging.
Let me just stop you and remind you, you are on YouTube, so don't give away anything you don't want to give away on
Yes,
your
ma'am.
techniques.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. I had a bondsman do that here a while back, and he'd forgotten that he was broadcasting possibly to his client, trying to apprehend.
And Your Honor, the state, per the court's earlier inquiry, the state does have concerns continuing both these matters out yet again. In referring to the returns of service on the motions for judgment on bond, it would appear that service was affected over approximately 2 months ago to the day in both cases. Additionally, in reviewing the notes, it would appear that these cases are in very different positions. In 23 TR 1969, it would appear that there is currently a pending request for revocation. It would all appear in 24 TR 0732. That case has yet to proceed to disposition, but in the aggregate, not counting today's apparent failures to appear per the court's finding on the record, there appeared to be 7 failures to appear on these 2 cases alone. So the state does have concerns whether or not continuing this matter yet again is the best use of judicial resources, given the history of this defendant and the statements made on the record here today.
All right, 1969, driving while habitual, speeding 90 and a 75. Motion for judgment on bond filed April of this year. Talking about a $5,000 bond. And then 732, driving while habitual violator. Class A misdemeanor as in the other case. Motion for judgment on bond filed April 29th of 25. Like that one's 5,000 also.
And Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Regier.
one other thing I might add, which I had neglected to mention earlier, I don't know how this plays into the court's calculations, but there appears to be a third Butler County case, 21 TR 1078. I am showing that case proceeded disposition some time ago. However, in that case, there also appears to be at least 3 failures to appear. So I'll leave it at that.
What is the status of that case? You said disposition. Is he on probation? Does he have a warrant to show cause or anything like that?
In that case, Your Honor, it would appear that there was last a hearing on June 5th of 2023, where the court closed the case since the balance of the matter had already been sent to collections, based off my notes from that hearing.
Well, I will not grant 60 days. I will grant judgment on both. I will give the same 30 days that I gave the other person to either have him in 30 days or pay the judgments. So I'll
Yes,
give
ma'am.
you another chance, but with his history, I'm going to go ahead and pursue that. All right, so we'll be in recess on Felix Banuelos Camargo. And sir, do you have any other clients on the docket today?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, thank you. Then you are excused.
Thank you for your time, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you for yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Yes,
did you grant the motion?
I did. Both of those motions granted, but stayed for 30 days. Either get the defendant or pay the bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's talk about that. Judge Webster kept this one on the rails with her trademark.com but firm approach. From the outset, defense counsel made it clear his client, Felix Banuelos Camargo, was a no-show and not for the first time. The bondsman, Randy McCartney from Bad Boy Bail Bonds, was refreshingly candid, saying he hated to use the word fled but essentially confirmed Felix had skipped over to Missouri. He explained the logistical and legal headaches of retrieving someone from another state, complete with a nod to working with a pie over there. Judge Webster, ever the professional, reminded him mid-discussion that the proceedings were live on YouTube, gently steering him away from revealing his tactics to any potentially attentive defendants. The state's attorney, Jerry Regier, a measured but pointed stance, laying out the timeline and tallying what he diplomatically called apparent failures to appear, 7 on these 2 cases alone, not even counting another county's history. His argument leaned heavily on judicial efficiency and the pattern of absence, clearly framing why more delays might not be prudent. The charges themselves were traffic-related, but the real issue was the repeated missed court dates and the bonds hanging in limbo. Judge Webster's ruling struck a balance. She granted the motions for judgment on bond in both cases, but stayed them for 30 days, either produce, Felix, or pay up. It was a restrained but decisive end, giving the bondsman one last window without indulging in open-ended chase. Overall, the atmosphere was calm with flickers of dry humor, particularly in the judge's deft handling of the don't give away the playbook moment. No one was grandstanding, and while the facts didn't favor the absent defendant, the courtroom stayed professional and respectful from start to finish. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.